pitchers and catchers report in about a month, February 14th, Valentine's Day. My wife asked me what I wanted for Valentine's Day. I said pitchers and catchers reporting, honey. You get one move.
It's romantic.
You get one move. I'm not the most romantic guy. I need to work on that. You get one move to make for the Astros. Only one. You don't get more than one. You get contract extension. You can bring in a free agent. Only one move for the Astros between now and February 14th. What is the move that you are making?
Are you looking short-term, long-term? Short-term, it's re-sign Yuli.
Well, you have one answer.
Right. Long-term, it's lock up Kyle Tucker. But I think for the long-term betterment of this franchise, because they don't really need Yuli like they did a year ago, I think that the smarter Astro fan would say lock up Kyle Tucker long-term.
That would be my vote.
See, well, there you go.
I think most of Houston would say Yuli because Kyle Tucker still has 3 years of club control.
But I could also see one of the popular opinions still being to make a splash move like trading for Brian Reynolds. If they think that's not completely dead.
I saw someone put out a list the other day. It's not that great. What's left?
No, what's left? And I mean, like Jurickson, Profar. You got Michael Wacha. I mean, there's no one really there that's going to change your fortunes or improve your lineup.
No, and I think most people now are just focused on what they already have had and what they got. And if they knew that they had Jordan and Kyle Tucker locked up for the foreseeable future, I think most people would feel pretty damn good.
Yeah, the splash move would be to trade for somebody that's coming up on free agency if you think you can get that done.
I think the splashiest move would be to get Kyle Tucker to take a contract similar to Jordan Alvarez and lock him up for about the same amount of time.
Y'all are just getting reachy now.
Why?
Ripping off Kyle Tucker with a contract of Jordan Alvarez.
So they already ripped off
Reynolds.
Jordan, so it would be it's reachy?
Yeah, it's reachy because Kyle Tucker already turned down a contract extension from the Astros.
But we don't know how far away they were.
We don't, but we also know that he didn't agree to the deal.
Do we know what he was offered?
We don't.
But
we know he didn't agree to a deal.
He's
and
an
also,
everyday outfielder, so he thought he deserved more.
And it's also unlikely to sign players once they're entering arbitration because now they're getting real significant money. They're much closer to free agency. Usually those type of deals are done before they're close to arbitration. They're usually a year or two out from arbitration. So I don't think it's like look, the Kyle Tucker being an option here, I think that's fine. But to say, like, now you're throwing on the caveat of, oh, yeah, sign Kyle Tucker to, like, $1 million. Like, that's kind of like, and that's not what you suggested.
Right.
I'm just saying you get one realistic move from now until pitchers and catchers report. What is it? Like, Kyle Tucker, I think, would be a good one. I think that a lot of people in the city would like that. I'm not sure that more people would say that than re-sign Yuli,
If we're not
though.
pandering to the fans, my choice would be Gene Segura.
He's signed. He's a Marlin, isn't he?
I don't know. I didn't see that.
I think I'm pretty sure he is a Marlin.
Yeah, he's a Marlin.
Because the Phillies
Johnny
tweeted
Cueto.
out some sort of kind of goodbye video.
Oh, did they? Okay,
Yeah.
because I haven't seen any of the recent transactions. Obviously, in baseball hasn't been top of mind. But Gene Segura as a replacement for the bench utility guy.
A Diaz spot?
Yeah. Would have been fantastic.
That makes a lot of sense if you can identify that guy.
Yep.
I think Kyle Tucker would be an answer here. Alex, what is the one move? You get one move between now and when pitchers and catchers report. What is the one move you're making for the Astros?
Sign Trevor Bauer.
Oh, no, Alex.
Alex, turn the radio down.
That's too late.
Oh.
The echo of "oh no" was
Yeah,
hilarious.
the combination of the radio in the background and his
And
take
the actual take.
gets him hung up on.
Sign Trevor Bauer. Would you be happy if the Astros signed Trevor Bauer? 713-780-ESPN.
I'm interested if anybody would be.
I'd rather the
713.
Texans take a wide receiver at 2 than
Would Alex
sign Trevor
Bregman
Bauer.
be
Me
happy
too.
if you signed Trevor Bauer?
If you eliminate the aggression in the bedroom from Trevor Bauer, which it's hard to eliminate
It's
that.
very hard.
Yeah.
It's impossible to eliminate that.
That's a
but
part of his
just
story
work
now.
with me here for a little bit. Let's just eliminate that for a second. Let's eliminate the pictures of the young lady. Eliminate all of that. The potential of adding Trevor Bauer to this locker room and killing the locker room exists. And because of that, there's no way that Jim Crane, who has who's listening to Jeff Bagwell, Enos Cabell, Dusty Baker, and Reggie Jackson, there is zero chance that those old school baseball guys would run the risk of ruining what is one of the best clubhouses in baseball, close-knit groups in baseball, that is coming off a defending world championship. Like if they didn't win the World Series and they had all this pressure and they didn't have a six-man rotation, they lost Verlander, but they needed one more starter. Like remember when they signed Odorizzi because they were desperate to find a fifth starter after the injury, I think to McCullers. Maybe it was, I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was Verlander even. That would like maybe come into play. But with the potential of Bauer crushing the clubhouse, with the potential of the backlash that you would have with Bauer, that's not even potential, that would exist. And because you already have a solid 6-man rotation, the chances of Bauer being in an Astros uniform are none. They're not even slim. They're none. They do not exist.
The thing is, too, the Dodgers have been the most likely team to be accepting to a lot because they just were interested in getting the best team money could buy over the last several years. And when their entire clubhouse basically rebelled and said, if you even think about bringing this guy back and setting foot in our clubhouse again, all the top names and all the biggest names, everybody was out on him. Like, there's no way. Because to everything that you said, if we are eliminating, which is impossible to do, the young lady in the situation and everything outside of baseball, inside of baseball, no matter what he's done in the past with this team, he's such a loose cannon every day with his social media and otherwise, in the way that he can start trouble that isn't there for your franchise. And with everything that this team has been able to kind of work their way out of from 17 to where they are now, they don't want this kind of bad look again.
Hey guys, back to the video in just 1 minute. Before that, I want to tell you about Fitz Roofing. If you got a leaky roof or need a full roof replacement on your business or your home, or you want to get something done around the yard or maybe something around the house, they have the best warranties in the business, the best ratings, and the best service. They're going to take care of you every step of the way. Fitz Roofing, making a difference, one home at a time.
I kind of want Jurickson Profar. I want a super utility player. And look, like Yuli Gurriel, like I understand the nostalgia. I understand wanting to keep that connection, especially to Cuba. I understand all of that. Yuli Gurriel, limited as an offensive player a year ago. I don't think he can really give you much outside of first base defensively. Like, I think it's a bit of a reach at this stage of his career that he's going to give you a lot of innings at third. He's going to give you nothing in the middle infield. He can't play outfield at all. So, like, what is his value? His value is that he gives Jose Abreu days off. Abreu plays like 155 games. That he DHs against lefties. Like, I wouldn't mind it if Yuli Gurriel's back. Like, I'm not anti-Yuli Gurriel, but if I only get one move, like, that's not the move I'm going to make. I want a dude that's a super utility guy like a Marwin Gonzalez that we've seen, like Ben Zobrist, who started the super utility movement back in Tampa Bay, former Astro minor league great. I want that type of guy. I want a guy who can play everywhere, like kind of like an Aledmys Diaz a little bit. I know he couldn't play center, but a dude that you can just insert in the lineup whenever you need to give somebody the day off. He's basically your 10th regular. And for me, I think Jurickson Profar is the one that's the best name still out
there. Do you think he would agree to be not a starter?
I get one move. Jurickson Profar doesn't have a choice in this. Like, I don't know that he would. I don't know that he would.
Now, we're on the same page and the same wavelength in terms of when I didn't know Gene Segura had signed with anybody else.
Gene Segura is very much in this conversation.
Yeah, and I think Gene Segura is a better hitter.
A little different, more of a contact hitter.
Yeah, he's a better hit for average.
He touches the ball better than Profar. Profar doesn't, hit for a great average, but probably has more pop at this stage of their career. Now, not a ton. He's not going to hit 30 home runs, but he gets extra bases, balls in the gap. He's more of an athlete.
Yeah, defensively, at least we know Segura is a really solid infielder, too, whereas I think Profar moves all around the diamond. He's one of those guys who can play a lot of places. Yeah. Does he ever play any one place well?
And he hasn't played infield a lot recently.
Right.
So there's a concern. There's concern there of like, well, what can he give you at shortstop? Probably not much. It's probably just in a pinch. What can he give you at second? I think he can play second.
Last year he only played outfield.
Yeah,
correct?
He played
outfield and DH.
That's what I'm saying. The last couple of years, he's basically changed his entire defensive profile to be an outfielder.
But he can play 10 games at shortstop when Pena needs days off. He can play 15 games at second. He can play a few games at third base. He can, of course, play the outfield as well. But I want that super utility. And right now, the Astros, like if you were to go super utility on this year's team, there's a couple of options. Like Mauricio Dubon can play everywhere, but Dubon's going to hit 215. David Hensley's a popular name. We haven't seen David Hensley play outfield. Mickey Story, the manager from Sugar Land, said he could probably play left field, but we haven't seen it. And also, you have options with David Hensley. Like, David Hensley's the perfect dude to start the year out in Sugar Land, and if you have an injury, you have somebody that you can rely on, that you can count on, that gets called up. So if I get one more move to make, for me, it's Jurickson Profar. Okay. 713-780-ESPN. What is it for you? 713-780-3776. Plus, he's a switch hitter. You got a bunch of left fielders or a bunch of left-handed hitters in the outfield.
He thinks he's way better than he is.
I don't disagree with that.
And he's he's out there wearing his flashy belts and everything else when he's not even close to the fifth best player on the team.
On the baseball field?
Oh, yeah.
He's wearing flat belts?
Like the Padres, and for some reason, and I saw it more with them than any other team, where you wear your belt with your pants. And I guess Major League Baseball treats that like socks, wristbands, and other things where it's not like mandatory you wear one color with one buckle. He was wearing like sparkly gold lame belt with a flashy big buckle. And I'm going, this dude's like your 19th best player, and he's bringing all the flash. I get it if Machado does it, but not him.
19. So why
right,
can Machado and Tatis do it, but Jurickson Profar cannot?
Because he's not that good.
You got to have a certain level of production before you can wear gaudy belts?
Yes.
Maybe he thinks he's the Dior of defense.
I don't need a Dior of defense with the team that I have.
If I want a utility infielder that wears gaudy belts, I'll go buy it at Dior. He's the product here. 713-780-3776. Let's go out to the HRP listener line. Ryan, you got one move. What is it?
We need more elite pitching. Trevor Bauer.
Oh,
another one? And then he hung up because he knew.
I hung up on him.
I was going to say. Otherwise, I was going to say, what an outlandish take. It's kind of like drop the messiness and run.
I think that Trevor Bauer should get a chance to pitch in baseball. I'll say that, but it's not going to be on my team. It's not going to be with my team.
Well, not with the history of what your
defending.
team has gone through. There's no way it makes sense.
Especially with how good you are.
And with how good your roster is and how good your pitching staff
and that
is.
you won last year. Like, if you're desperate, like the Dodgers, it kind of made sense. Like, they're kind of desperate for a World Series, and it's why they even told Trevor Bauer
but that's why they did it
keeping him
before
around.
they knew what kind of a weird freak off the field he was.
Who's you saying?
The Dodgers got him before all that stuff came to light.
Trevor Bauer, and if we believe Trevor Bauer or not, he said he met with the Dodgers the day before they released him, and they said they were working on a way to bring him back.
He said that the powers that be that he met with basically told him they wanted him back. And I have a hard time believing that if 24 hours later they went by.
It does explain why they waited so long in that window to release him, though, because when that window opened, they didn't do it right away.
Sure, they were exploring all their options.
I think they were calling all their roster to make sure one last time that they
calling
did not.
Other teams.
Well,
they
they
didn't
want
trade could be made.
I don't think anybody's trading for that guy because I think that what the damage is so far down the road, whether he was convicted or not, that even the teams that think they could get a steal of a deal in a small market are thinking twice and three times before they even. I don't think anybody's giving him a shot.
I think so. I think he'll pitch in baseball this year. Absolutely.